Sul Simmers, my name is Dorothy Jeswick and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be rebuilding the BFF household from the base game using only the base game. We are building on a 40 by 30 lot in Willow Creek on the Garden Essence lot. You can kind of see I've got some interesting things going on with the terrain here. I really wanted to have an above ground basement for Travis's room, and then have both of the girls' rooms upstairs. We've got Summer Holiday, Liberty Lee, and Travis Scott. They are going to be testing it today for us to make sure that everything works. I'm not a huge fan of the base game, but I do like doing base game builds just so it's easier for everyone else to download. But I do like doing base game builds that are like kind of more modern, because I feel like with some of the styles in the base game furniture, you're very stuck to like a suburban style or even like colonial style build. But today we're going to be going for a more mid-century modern, even like early 80s style home. So we're going to do some kind of wacky colors, so you guys are just going to have to bear with me. It's going to look a little ugly, but I think it works out really well. I've been doing a lot of GTA style builds, and this kind of feels like that on the inside once I get finished with it. And it's base game, so anybody can download this house and pretend that they're in GTA with their Sims, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing. Basically every build that I've done in this save is like a Grand Theft Auto style build, and I kind of love it. But I've been getting into Pal World lately. I really want to figure out how to like screen record it and maybe do a few videos on it for you guys, because it is so fun. This game is so addicting, I swear. It's the reason why there was no Wednesdays with the Waffles episode. It's going to be uploaded next Wednesday, but I got so distracted playing Pal World yesterday that I just didn't do any recording for my Sims at all. I just played Pal World all day because I was like trying to start my base, and it takes a lot of like grinding and effort to like get all your stuff built up, and oh my god, I love it so much. And they're getting sued by Nintendo right now because they're kind of similar to Pokemon. It's not really that similar. Like once you really get into the game, it's not as similar as Pokemon. Like yes, they kind of look similar, but they're not actual Pokemon. Like they don't evolve, they just level up and get more skills as they go on and get stronger. But it is so fun, you guys. I've literally been playing it for like 20 hours and I've only had it for a few days. That's really, really bad. It sounds so bad, but I stayed up until like 12:30 in the morning on Tuesday playing this game after I was done editing my Wednesdays with the Waffles videos. I just have to get the voiceover done. That's all I have to do, and then it'll be ready to go up on Wednesday and I'll get it out. So I might just do it every other week anyway, just because that might be a little bit easier for me, because it gives me a little bit more time to hash out the script. So I'm not just like rambling like I am now. That's usually what I do through my build videos, because you're just like watching the screen, especially with base game builds, because like everything's from the base game, so I don't have to tell you like which wallpaper is from which pack or which chair is from a certain pack, so I don't necessarily have to call out specific items. But anyway, if you haven't played Pal World yet, I highly recommend it. It's so fun and like super addicting. I didn't think I would like it at first, but my son was playing it and he like got confused about something, so I was trying to help him, and then I ended up just doing a bunch of like work for his profile so that his animals like weren't starving, because that's what they were doing. They were just like incapacitated because they couldn't work because they were hungry. So I just did a bunch of stuff for his profile, and then like fixed his base because he had like walls everywhere because he just like places them wherever. And then I was just like, I think I'm gonna download this on my computer, because he was playing on my husband's computer, and my husband was like, finally I got you to like a game that I like so we can play together on our own server. And yeah, he's right. I need to get into other games, because I really only play The Sims, Grand Theft Auto, and now Pal World. I need to stop being so picky about my games, and I need to like expand my gaming avenues, I guess, so that I'm not getting bored with one game, because I play The Sims like a lot, and occasionally I do get bored, but if I like do stuff like Pal World or even Grand Theft Auto, I can get inspiration from that kind of thing. Like I do a bunch of Grand Theft Auto builds. I could also do like a Sims 4 build that is in the style of Pal World, because they do like stone walls. I could build like a castle for pals in The Sims. I feel like that'd be fun, because we do have the new castle kit, and the stone is pretty similar to what we have in Pal World, and we could use void critters instead of pals. That actually sounds fun. I'm writing that down for a future build. But I still have a couple of GTA builds that I want to do. I want to do Lester's house and Franklin's mansion first. And if I can find it, maybe Martin Madrazo's house. I know we can very easily imitate that because it's pretty similar to the style of Oasis Springs builds. So I feel like that would be pretty easy to do, even if I have to just kind of make it up, because we don't really see much of the inside of Martin Madrazo's house. Oh my god, I just realized I've been talking for like 5.5 minutes and I haven't really said anything about the build. We're done with the kitchen and the living room, but we're working on Travis's bedroom right now. I wanted him to have the basement because I feel like he would let the girls take the upstairs bedrooms just so he could have his privacy downstairs. I really had a hard time with this build just because the terrain is kind of weird, so it makes placing things glitchy. And I really think it's because the terrain is not supposed to be this close to the walls. So what I've done is actually place a couple of roof pieces by the walls, and that allows you to kind of build the terrain up higher because it doesn't count the roof pieces as walls. You can't really tell unless you're like in the basement. I don't know how many people actually play with the BFF's household, but most people just find builds on the gallery and like place them down so that the neighborhood looks better. Or when you come and visit these people, there's like more activities to do. Just because a lot of times there's not a lot of stuff for them to do in their houses. Like there's just like a computer and nothing else. But I added a game table and a radio to this little basement area, as well as like an easel. So if you're doing like a rags to riches and you can't afford an easel yet, you can come here and do your painting and then leave. I do that a lot when I do rags to riches. I like go over to other people's houses and like use their stuff, mostly so I can save money and not have to buy things for myself. We are almost done with Travis's room. I gave him a little hamper over here, as well as a couple books on his nightstand and a little thing of tissues so you can blow your nose. And then we're getting into our basement here. I tried to put a bar in here. It was just way too big. I wish we had a one-tile bar in the base game, like maybe a little drink cart or something like that. That would be perfect for an area like this. We have a globe bar from one of the packs. I can't remember which one though. I want to say it's Get Famous or Get Together. I don't remember. It would just be nice if we had one like that in the base game. We have a lot of drink trays from other packs, but it would be nice if we had a bar cart in the base game. The bars just take up so much space. I don't ever use them in my houses. I usually end up keeping them outside or like building a separate garage just for the bar. Because I get really worried about like temperature in The Sims. Like if your sim is like outside for too long in like the heat, they could die, or if they're outside in the cold, they could freeze to death. And occasionally your sims don't actually change into the appropriate weather gear when they go outside, or the weather changes as they're outside and they end up being in their hot weather gear when it's like freezing, especially if they're just like busy doing something. Like if your kids are doing a school project and they're freezing. I've almost had a few sims die that way, especially during my 100 baby challenge, because I just like set the kids to do their projects and like went off to do something else, and they almost died. Liberty Lee's room is the like hot pink room, and Summer's room is the kind of like baby pink room. It's not a whole lot different than what they had before, but I did keep some of Summer's old furniture, like the older dresser. At first I put the books on this little nightstand, but I ended up putting a shelf above both of their beds just to put clutter on, as well as just making it look a little bit more interesting. We are pretty limited with the base game. We don't have a ton of items, so we have to kind of work with what we have. And I never really do shelves above the bed, so I figured that would be a fun idea because I had a shelf above my bed when I was younger, so it's pretty realistic. I did have to raise up the books on their own, so they're not actually sitting on the shelf. But it really only matters if you try to move the shelf anywhere else. And I did something similar in Summer's room, only with a few plants and a couple of other decorations. I also gave Liberty Lee the little freezer bunny guitar. I think it's super adorable, and I don't really use that guitar that often. I kept the back patio pretty simple, just a grill, a little patio table, and a telescope so your sims can die. And then I also added a couple of garden planters in the yard. I did end up having to give them a little bit of extra money. I want to say I used around $10,000 extra. I was trying to stick within the budget of the old house, it just didn't happen. A lot of the base game homes have like bare minimum furnishing and clutter, so I just needed to have that little extra. And they do that so that your game runs better on like low spec laptops. Like I have a gaming laptop, like a really nice one, and my game still struggles to run The Sims sometimes. I wanted to add in a second computer also because there is 3 sims in this house. So I'm going to stick that in this spot over here by the back door. And then I'm just going to have a few extra clutter items since we have a little bit of extra money now. I also wanted to create like a fake garage door. We have a garage door in the base game debug, but it doesn't have windows and it doesn't really look nice, so that's what I'm doing here. It looks a little bit better. It looks more like a house one. The one that's from the debug looks more like something you'd find in like a shed or a cargo container. Originally I had a pond in the backyard, but I ended up just flattening that part of it out because I did not feel like decorating a pond because that would make your game really lag with all the extra landscaping. So I kept it really simple and just kind of did a few bushes here and there, and that was it. But that is all for today's speed build. We should be getting to the tour right about now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button because it really helps out. I upload a couple videos a week, so subscribe and hit the bell button to get a notification every time I post a new video. I hope you have an amazing day wherever you are in the world, and I will see you all in the next video. Dag dag!